Hey y'all, welcome back to Toya DTV. Toya DTV. Y'all, let me go ahead and give you an update. I got my second vaccine today and I feel like my energy is crashing. So, please bear with me throughout this video. I'm gonna push through to get this to y'all. Today we're talking about Married to Medicine, season 8, episode 8, Know Your Status, DC. So we see all of this stuff leading up to the doctors basically being on their way to look at the testing site again. Everything is actually set up. They'll know exactly where they're going to be at this point. So then you have everyone else still left in the house. So that would be Curtis, Cecil, Lisa Nicole, Carrie, and Anila. So Anila decides to go up to Curtis and Cecil and ask them to take pictures of her by the pool. Okay, y'all, it's official. I don't like this girl. It's official. I'm not digging her behavior. This is snakish activity. You want somebody's husband to record you, film you, take pictures of you in your bathing suit with no one else around. Okay, Anila, I see you. So once the doctors get back to the house, somehow we are back on this stupid subject of whether there is an intelligent side or not an intelligent side, who thinks they're more smart, and it is so stupid. And y'all, I like Kieran's personality, because he's like, if you're arguing about being on an intelligent side, no one is intelligent. And that's exactly how I feel about the situation. But the fact that they are really eating this up, taking it to heart, ready to fight, where's the maturity level? Like, seriously, I know we're on TV, but some of the, I'm sorry, but Toya don't look like she's acting. Toya look like she's mad for real. She's ready to fight for real. She feel exactly how she feel about it, and she's really taking it to heart. Like, that's sad to me that you would allow someone to get you that amped up. So they tell everybody that they're gonna have a gathering with Eugene's brother and his mom. They're gonna be coming, and also some of Dr. Jackie's friends, and then Yael's friends, something to that effect. I got a question about that though. That's a little weird. Okay, Dr. Jackie said that these were her friends that she invited here, right? Later during the episode, Toya asked Yael, are there any nice ladies in your group of friends? And Yael responded and said, I'm a nice lady. So are these really Jackie's friends, or are these Yael's friends? I'm confused, because even when she was introducing them, she didn't know what they did, what type of doctor they were. So production, y'all messed up on that. That was too easy to pick up for me. We'll get into some more details about some other things I saw later on. Dr. Alicia and Dr. Nia arrives first. Now these were the ones that Dr. Jackie said were her friends. So Dr. Jackie brings them in and everyone starts to mingle, talk about what they do, OBGYN, dentist. It hadn't been too long, and then Dr. Heavenly comes out and she, elbow bumps them and greets them and everything. And Dr. Alicia's like, who's serving the drinks? I don't know what the deal was with that. But anyway, Toya was kind enough to take everybody's drink order. Now, I gotta find the energy to talk about this, y'all. So Dr. Alicia doesn't do anything hard. She likes things light, sweet, a mojito, Moscato, wine, whatever. Something light and sweet, right? I felt like that was simple. Toya said she don't do light. So what does she specifically want? So she's ended up saying Moscato. Toya's going around taking everybody's drink order. Then she goes to the kitchen and basically gives them what she wants them to have, which is champagne. For the people that want it light, throw a little juice in there. And I'm like, why volunteer when you don't want to do it? They were very picky, very specific. And Eugene told the truth, like, okay, so are you. So I don't get where the problem is. Or she could have just went and asked Cecil. Cecil would have known all of that. A lot of the men in this particular group are really gentlemen. They really are. So I'm sure that if she had asked Eugene or asked Cecil to serve them, they probably would have. She made that out to be something I felt like was just not that big of a deal. So she brings them back what she wanted them to have, and it was not what they asked for, and they just said thank you anyway. In the midst of everybody mingling and talking, here comes Dr. Alicia again. Now hold up, y'all invited me here and I haven't eaten yet. And when you're a guest in someone's home, that does come off rude, that does come off wrong, that does come off like, wait a minute, did you bring something when you came? Chill out. That's one thing you don't do, is go to somebody's house and try to rush them on how to serve you. No, you should have ate before you came, so you're not starving when you get in the building. She could have ate something on her way there. She had a little attitude. I've heard that these chicks are going to be, I'm sorry, not chicks. I've heard these doctors are going to be on the spinoff of Married to Medicine DC. Don't know how I feel about that. I do like Yael though. I did not see enough of Nia to know anything about her really. So when she made that comment about her not having nothing to eat yet, Dr. Hemley's like, what? I ain't even invite you. I don't even know you. I get that type of response because, okay, you are the guest in the home and your mouth is doing a little too much. Simone nicely, swiftly moved her on away from the crowd and took her to the kitchen to get something to eat. Now, can y'all tell me why Simone decided to bring her back to the table outside to eat when nobody else at the table was eating? That was rude. She should have ate it in the kitchen where she got it from, standing up, because she don't need to be comfortable eating if she cannot wait to eat when everyone else is eating. She ain't sitting too well with me, y'all. Toya says in the confessionals that Dr. Alicia and Dr. Heavenly are just alike. I would beg to differ with that. Now, Dr. Heavenly can be rude, but she's not like... Dr. Heavenly is rude. It's weird to say. Dr. Heavenly is rude in a funny way. She's not rude like straight up around... I'm not going to say people she never been around before, because she will be rude around people she never been around before. But I don't see it being the exact same. There's some similarities, but I don't see it being the exact same. All right, y'all. So Eugene and his brother has arrived. They do live in the D.C. area. Y'all, I learned something. Eugene was in D.C. living with his family until he was 8. And he lived a sheltered life. And he felt like he did good. He turned out well. And not a product of his environment, because he felt like he grew up in an era that was like a crack era in the area that he lived in. So he thanked his parents like, I was sheltered, but I'm good to go. I'm a doctor now. Thank you, mom. Thank you my parents. Simone decides that she wants to get serious when... I'm not sure why there always has to be a serious moment. Why can't people just laugh and have fun? She proposes the question: how, when there's hurt and pain, do we move forward? How do we move forward instead of being stuck? Now, she was like, I know I get stuck. And Dr. Jackie was like, yes, you do. And yes, you do too, Dr. Jackie. Both of y'all got stuck with this friendship. Dr. Contessa said that she tries not to be self-centered. Dr. Alicia says we need to stop disrespecting each other. Toya was like, exactly, like saying come over to the intelligent side. Toya can't let this intelligent thing go, y'all. They start going back and forth. Toya and Contessa, Toya and Contessa, Toya and Contessa. Toya is ready to fight at the drop of a dime. Toya doesn't care who's around. Toya doesn't care anything about her husband being a physician. She doesn't care anything about the fact that she's a mom. She doesn't care anything about the fact that a camera is around. Toya grabbed Anila by the arm and was like, move over, move over. And Contessa's like, why are you snatching all up on her? Why is it that you get so mad that you will start pulling on somebody that you call your friend? I would have a major problem with that, because what you don't do is get mad at somebody else and then put your hands on me. And Anila was like, no, I'm not moving. No, I'm not moving. But she had really grabbed that girl. But I hope Toya kind of get that under control, because she's just ready to fight this season. And when all that started happening, Eugene's mom got right up, walked right over there with the men, sat down, had herself a refill of wine. So Contessa stands up, and I don't know who she was talking to at that time. And she was like, she's disrespectful. You want me to be friendly with this dumb bee? She was talking about Toya, but I don't know who she was talking to, because we didn't see that part. That's when Toya stood up, started snatching Anila, trying to get her to move. It was too much. I feel like Contessa has anger issues, and Toya is just on scrap mode. She's ready to fight for any little thing. So Dr. Heavenly, of course, chimes in. I ain't say that. I sure thought it. Contessa does kind of backpedal. She backpedals, and she does not remember, have amnesia, whatever you want to call it. Contessa gets agitated, and then she goes to 100 on agitation, and then she tries to resolve stuff in the middle of agitation, and that doesn't work. So Toya told Dr. Heavenly, you should be embarrassed, because you brought us down here for Black Lives Matter, and as soon as you get a chance to tear down the women around you, you do so. And definitely she probably felt the way about that, because I would say that that's true, but I think she calls it all in the nutshell of comedy. I think she does it, but I think she means the comedy behind it though. So I can kind of agree with that. And if you're not a person that is cool with her and she's saying jokes that are personal or an attack on you, then yeah, you're going to feel that way. Toya also says Dr. Heavenly been trying to divide people the entire time she's been on the show. I don't know about the entire time she's been on the show, and I don't know if she tries to divide people, but if she don't like a person, she just don't like a person. Like, there is no persuading her. There is no let's have a sit down. Well, actually, I take that back. She did sit down with Mariah in church. I remember that. Her and Mariah went to church because they could not get along. So yeah, they did have a sit down, and I don't know. So I don't know if she's all about tearing apart, because she take the time to take the effort to try to get it right at some point. So Toya walks away from the women and goes straight over to Dr. Damon. Toya has this habit of going to the men, like the men can check their wives. Wives, yes, are supposed to be submissive to their husband, but guess what? Wives are still their own individual person, their own individual identity. Like, yes, when you get married, you become one, but you are still your own individual identity. Like, it's not like you're a clone. You don't just have the same brain. So she goes over to Dr. Damon to talk trash, and Dr. Damon's like, no, don't involve me. and she is determined to tell him what's going on, and he don't want to hear it. So Cecil came in, he was like, he doesn't want to hear it, he doesn't even want to know, he doesn't even want to be involved. And I can applaud Cecil for that, because Dr. Damon is a good guy. He's a nice guy. He's a soft-spoken guy, and he's not going to be as blunt as he need to be with somebody that's an over talker like Toya. Cecil stepped in. He was like, he don't even want to hear it. She was like, you don't want to hear it? You don't want to hear it? You don't want to hear it? Okay. She couldn't accept that. She was mad that she couldn't just blurt out, but she still said what she wanted to say. The only time Dr. Heavenly acts right is when she's around Dr. Damon. Dr. Heavenly is wild. It is what it is. Like, people want her to change, but she's not going to change. That's who she is. She give me a laugh. That's all I can say. So Dr. Contessa asked Carrie specifically, did you intentionally do this? Because it's feeling very toxic, and I don't understand why you would do this if you did this intentionally. Carrie didn't do it intentionally. Contessa can't take it no more. She said it feels like a toxic situation. So she basically got up and left, because she says anytime she tries to talk to Toya, Toya starts cursing at her. It's a little weird she said that, because when they were arguing back and forth, Contessa was the first one to curse at Toya, not Toya curse at Contessa. So I don't know if that's something from the past she's talking about or what. Anyway, everybody getting a little hors d'oeuvre now. Dr. Alicia should be happy. They passing out shrimp. It's the next day, y'all. 5:35 a.m. The doctors are getting up and getting ready, y'all. They are going out to the test site to check it out, to make sure that they are going to have everything that they need on site, on deck, the placement that they need, the space they need for everything. Now, they've been out there a couple of times, but when you're doing something so big, you can never be too sure. So they're going out there. They get on the bus. Dr. Simone is looking around like, well, what is going on, y'all? What's happening? Dr. Eugene is not a morning person. Dr. Damon is not a morning person. Dr. Heavenly says that Dr. Damon is grumpy because they did not have their morning sex. She did not have time, okay? They are pulling up, and they're saying, like, it's amazing to just see all of the people already out, because when you think about the area that you're in, over 57 years ago, the freedom fighters were marching, and now y'all are about to march for Black Lives Matter at the same time that took place 57 years ago. So it's very patriotic, and not only that, it's showing a change in history, but not a good change. We don't want to be here in the same spot 57 years from now. Like, we want to see a complete transition by then. We don't want to be still in the same place where we're fighting for our rights, fighting for equality, fighting to be treated like humans. Like, we don't want to be there. It's just sad. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Everyone else is waking up and heading out to the testing site to join the doctors to help them take temperatures, hand out paperwork for registrations, give out sanitizers, anything else that they can do to help the movement. They're giving out looking at this, it was such a proud moment. The doctors were doing testing, giving out sanitizer. They were giving people information that they had never heard. One person was shocked that they could actually get tested on site. It was amazing to see them in their element, man, making change. And I liked this particular episode, minus the whole intelligent side part. They could have left that out of this episode. But it was just seeing all the people, all the protesting. It gave me chills to see them working and doing what they do on a daily basis and actually making change and improving the world one person at a time. It's very powerful. And I like how down to earth all the doctors were towards the people they were talking to. They were definitely on their professional A game, but yet they were still down to earth. And people like to see doctors like that. In the midst of the protest and people being tested and everything, Dr. Heavenly got really emotional, and she leaned over and apologized to Toya and thanked her for being there. And she said she didn't know why she was so emotional in that moment, but she hopes Toya understand what she's saying. Toya just kind of stood there. It's like, yeah, I understand. And it's sad because in her confessional, she's like, I get that Dr. Heavenly is emotional right now. It's just that in a few moments, a few hours, she's going to be back to her old ways. Toya is right. Toya is right on that. Dr. Heavenly is going to revert, click the funny knob back on, and start bashing Toya. So I don't know. I don't know what the medium is or what it would be. It's kind of sad that Dr. Scott pointed out that, he's had to educate an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old on police brutality, because it's real and it's happening in this world we live in right now. Just seeing the personal input and how people have been affected, like, it's bad. Like, I know we're in a transition and it's getting better, but it's still bad. That's a whole nother video. But Dr. Simone said that, we are a minority, but we have a lot of power and we have voices. So yeah, if we were to just stay on our A game, I think change would come a lot faster. That transition would not revert back at any point if we stay on our A game, which means we need to get out and vote every single election, no matter if it's presidential election or what. We have to vote. Our voice is heard every time, every place, every single event. Y'all, it's the same day. It's 6:20 p.m. and everybody is exhausted. Dr. Damon looked like he was ready to just crawl on the floor. So Dr. Heavenly, I'm gonna put you in the bed, okay? He's like, like, Dr. Heavenly take care of her man. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, honey, but Damon is happy. He is happy, honey. She probably, I ain't gonna go there. Probably rubbed his feet and everything once he got back there and settled, because that's a lot. There was no down period. They only took a little moment to watch the speeches and that was it. 7:45 p.m. All the ladies are getting ready to go out. Everybody gets dressed. The men stayed in. Everybody's wondering where Lisa Nicole and Carrie are, and they're getting their hair and makeup redone because they have been out protesting and they were sweaty, exhausted, whatever. Nobody knew where they were and they weren't responding, so they left and went to the restaurant. Well, it turns out they were walking out and they had gotten left because they thought that they weren't going to come. So when they Ubered to the restaurant, they were mad, but it turns out they just weren't looking at their phones and they had been reached out to, and unfortunately they just didn't get the message. Lisa Nicole, her dress was cute, but she looked like she was stuffed in that dress, and she was taking little baby steps, little teeny baby steps. It was cute though. I like the whole gold. I like the gold on her. I'm glad she's quiet this season. She don't have much to say, and I'm glad she's not getting much camera time, because I couldn't deal with that full season Lisa Nicole. So when they get in the restaurant, Carrie reports to Dr. Heavenly that Daddy is behaving well at home. You don't call him Daddy, you call him Dr. Damon. Okay, Dr. Damon Daddy. Everybody started laughing. Call me uptight, but that wasn't funny. That wasn't funny to me. That was not funny to me, because some people will test you to see how far they can get with disrespecting you. And if you allow somebody to call your husband something you don't want them to call him, and then they do it anyway, what else would they try to do? Anyway, y'all, that's how the episode went off. That was it, y'all. Married to Medicine, episode 8, season 8, y'all. That was it. That was a great episode, though. But anyway, I will see y'all on Friday with another video. Till next time.